You've seen the ad. Be your own boss. Start a cleaning business for under $500. Work whenever you want. It sounds simple. It sounds almost too easy. But here's what nobody tells you before you buy your first bottle of all-purpose spray. The real cost of starting a cleaning business isn't the mop and bucket. It's everything that happens after you get your first client. Let's break down what this actually costs, what nobody budgets for, and why so many cleaning businesses fold in the first year, even when they're booked solid. Start with the number everyone quotes. You can technically start a solo residential cleaning business for around $1,000 to $3,000. That covers registering your business, basic liability insurance, a bond, a vacuum, some microfiber cloths, and a batch of commercial-grade cleaning chemicals. On paper, that's the whole story. In practice, it's the opening chapter of a much longer book. Here's the first thing people underestimate. Insurance isn't optional if you want serious clients. Most homeowners and almost every property management company will ask if you're licensed, bonded, and insured before they let you inside the door. General liability insurance runs anywhere from $300 to $800 a year. A surety bond adds another $1 to $300. That's not a luxury. That's the price of entry into the part of the market that actually pays well. Then there's equipment. A basic vacuum and some supplies will get you through your first few jobs. But commercial-grade equipment, the kind that lets you clean faster and handle tougher jobs, costs real money. A quality backpack vacuum alone can run $200 to $400. Add mop systems, extraction equipment if you're doing carpets, and a rotating stock of chemicals. And your equipment budget can quietly climb past $1,000 before you've cleaned a single home professionally. Now, here's where the math starts to shift. What happens when you stop being a one-person operation? Because if the business works, that's exactly what happens. You get more bookings than you can physically clean yourself. And suddenly, you're not running a cleaning business anymore. You're running a small company. This is where the real cost lives. Hiring your first employee triggers a whole new category of expenses most first-time owners never see coming. Workers' compensation insurance becomes mandatory in most states the moment you have staff. Depending on where you operate, that can run anywhere from 5 to 15% of your total payroll. Payroll processing software costs another $30 to $100 a month. And you'll likely need a second vehicle, or at minimum, a reliable way to get a team and their equipment from house to house. A dedicated cargo van, fully outfitted for commercial cleaning, can cost anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 if you're buying new. Even used, you're looking at several $1,000s just for reliable transportation. Add commercial-grade floor buffers, carpet extractors, and backup equipment for a growing team, and your total startup investment for a small crew operation lands somewhere between $10,000 and $30,000. That's not the pitch you saw in the ad, but it's the number that actually determines whether your business survives its second year. So, why does this catch so many people off guard? Because the early months of a cleaning business feel deceptively easy. You post on a local Facebook group, you get your first client, you clean their house, they love it, they refer a friend. Revenue starts flowing almost immediately, often within the first few weeks. Solo cleaners typically charge between $25 and $50 an hour, or a flat rate of $100 to $200 per visit. Because overhead is so low at this stage, many solo operators reach break-even in their first 1 to 3 months. That early win creates a dangerous kind of confidence. It tells you the business is easy right when it's about to get complicated. The complication starts the moment you try to scale. Growth for a cleaning business isn't linear. It's a series of expensive step changes. Going from 1 cleaner to 2 doesn't just double your revenue. It also introduces payroll taxes, scheduling software, liability exposure for a second person entering someone's home, and the simple fact that you can no longer personally guarantee every job meets your standard. Quality control becomes a real cost, not just a nice idea. You either spend time training and supervising, or you spend money on a system that does it for you. Then there's the cost, almost nobody mentions. Customer acquisition. In the beginning, referrals and word of mouth carry you. But to grow past a certain size, most cleaning businesses turn to paid lead generation platforms. Services that connect you with homeowners looking for cleaners often charge per lead, not per job. That means you can pay $20 to $70 for a single potential client, and there's no guarantee they book with you at all. Multiply that across dozens of leads a month, and marketing quietly becomes one of the largest line items in the entire business. Payment processing takes its own small bite too. Every card payment typically costs 2 to 3% in processing fees. It sounds tiny per transaction. Across hundreds of jobs a year, it adds up to a real number on your annual expenses. So, where does this leave the numbers? A solo operator with low overhead can genuinely build a profitable, sustainable business on a few $1,000s of startup capital. That part of the story is true. The danger isn't starting small. The danger is assuming that small-scale math still applies once the business starts to grow. The owners who get blindsided aren't the ones who fail. They're the ones who succeed too quickly, hire before they understand their true costs, and discover that a booming schedule and a profitable business are not the same thing. There's a pattern here that shows up far beyond cleaning businesses. It's the same reason restaurants that seem packed every night can still go bankrupt. Revenue is visible. It shows up in your bank account and feels like proof that things are working. Cost is often invisible until it isn't. Insurance renewals, equipment replacement, payroll taxes, the slow leak of unpaid time spent quoting jobs that never convert. The businesses that survive aren't the ones that grow the fastest. They're the ones that price in the invisible costs from day one, before growth forces the issue. So, if you're thinking about starting a cleaning business, the real question isn't how cheap can I start? It's how honestly can I account for what happens if this works? Because that ad promising a $500 startup isn't lying. It's just telling you the beginning of the story and leaving out the chapter where the business either grows into something sustainable or grows faster than its owner ever budgeted for. You saw the ad. Be your own boss. Start for under $500. Now you know what it actually costs to stay one.